What's up, y'all? Uh, we're gonna be wrapping up Fate tonight. At least the stay night part of Fate. I am the Corruption Shadow Zog.
Oh.
We got that strange crystal blade. Fucking holy Kelz Grail. And Master of Masters Static. How y'all doing?
The tables are turned.
I'm just... The wiki
Yeah,
states
Fate kind of leaves you like that.
there's a character, it's like, oh, this character was in Fate Zero. I was like, I don't remember them at all.
Are you talking about
which
the
one?
Avenger Black Ari?
Yep, that one.
I knew that. I was wondering which one of you would see it.
What?
She was.
Where? How? Why? When? Who?
She
What?
was when Einsberg got turned into the Grail in Fate Zero. She technically became an Avenger class because Avenger class. So it's a whole thing. Like you see her, like, but you think it's still like her.
Yeah, you think it's like evil Elias Field now, but it's not.
Yeah.
Technically.
It's
It's actually
it's
the
like-
mom.
Yeah, the thing about Fate is really weird because there's a lot of things that they don't tell you. Like,
It's a lot of subtext.
it's like college, man. So, like, it's just things they expect you to know
Not
because
wrong.
they, like, pointed at it. But,
And they kind of expect you just to teach yourself.
yeah, like the IRS.
I just don't remember seeing her. That's all.
It's okay.
Like, I gotta go
Okay.
back and rewatch it because I'm like, where's this
You
character?
do. There's so,
You-
like,
you
I
do.
tell you can't watch Fate one time. Like, everybody has a gripe. They're like, oh, One Piece is too long. Oh, Fruits Basket is that. Oh, I gotta watch Fate 7 times to understand it. Well, that's part of the charm of the series. So, yeah.
And eventually, you can substitute rewatches with just like reading light novels or manga.
Or the wiki.
But the wiki,
I wouldn't read
or
the
you
wiki because the wiki can confuse you.
It very much can. That's the
Excuse
problem
me.
with having having everything canon, but not.
The wiki can confuse me, bro. We just watched the culmination of the entire Stay Night franchise, right? We watched the
Yep.
final route. We rounded out, quote unquote, all the loose ends. But of course, it's Fate. There's never all the loose ends tied up.
Yeah.
And still, I'm like, what the fuck?
So here's the thing, like, there's always gonna be the what the fuck, because think of Fate as, there's one timeline, and that is Shiro Emiya. Shiro Emiya is a stasis, and there are certain changes that you make that make ultimate, like, those bridge off, because technically Shiro created the Apocrypha unit, but that's a whole nother discussion. Yes. Apocrypha
No.
is an alternate.
Apocrypha is an alternate Stay Night, yes.
Yes, so
But
it's a bridge.
it branches off from the Third Holy Grail War, not way before Shiro was ever born.
No, I'm saying on Shiro's timeline. Like, Shiro's timeline is the
What
constant.
if I just typed
and there's a
in
bunch of
Fate
things.
timeline into the internet? What would happen? Would my computer
Get a
explode?
headache trying to understand a 3-hour video someone made. Like, you have to. Like, it's.
You have to take each one as it is.
Have you
Speaking of-
seen Avengers Endgame? I know you haven't, Kelz. But,
What?
What?
Hold on.
Of course, I've seen Endgame.
you did? Sorry, I didn't remember.
I probably
so in
saw it with you.
probably.
Who's
That
probably
was
sitting
tw-
next to you.
That was 4 years ago. So anyway,
Man.
so you know how in Endgame they're like, if we do one little thing, it bridges off, and all these things that happen, and we get Loki, all that stuff based off like different things. Think of it like that. That's the best comparison I can give to something we've all seen of the Fate universe. There's like slight bridges that create everything else. Like and it's just where in the timeline things got fucked up to make everything else. That's how I rationalize Fate. Just finally at night.
The interesting
Otherwise,
part,
I'll get a headache.
The interesting part about it is, it's not like, oh, what if? It's, hey, we're gonna chase this rabbit hole to its logical end before we go back and do it again. You know,
Kind of.
It
Yeah.
all-
It's
all
basically
canon.
like actually what if works. It's basically like those string of what if comics, except
Marvel's What
the
If.
Marvel's What If or DC doesn't matter. Uh, except if the creators straight up said, "We don't give a fuck what's canon. We're just telling stories. Go fuck yourself." Which I can respect that.
how does
Yeah.
that tie in to Heaven's Field movie number 3?
Because since this is the last one that was made, it answers and ties up all the loose ends from Dean, Stain,
Element of
fucking UBW, and Heaven's Feel.
You know, I feel like
It
I'm
answers all of
gonna,
them.
I'm gonna flex on myself right now. I had
On
the mental,
yourself?
yeah. I'm gonna flex on myself, or I'm going to flex on me. Like, I'm gonna put a flex. I'm gonna flex on y'all. That's something. I'm also very. So, I had the mental fortitude to watch this movie and Evangelion, the third movie of the rebuilds, which name escapes me at the moment, within a month of each other, because they came out within a month of each other. These were the, and let me tell you all,
Wait a minute. You're talking about 3.0 plus 1.01?
yeah,
like-
Thrice Upon a Time,
Okay, so the final film.
yeah.
The fourth one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the fourth one. Okay, my bad. My bad. I always I forget that. You know, in my mind I remove the third movie from happening in the Evangelion series. So I'm like, yeah, Thrice Upon a Time is the last one. Yeah, let's go.
It is the last one.
It
Well,
is the
number
last
4.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I
so
mean,
you had to watch 3.0 plus 1.01 Thrice Upon a Time and the third Heavensfield movie within
like
a month.
right. Yeah, I watched Heaven's Field first, and I was like, finally, this mind fuck is done. I can calm down. And then I watched the last of the rebuilds. I was like, man, what a year for me. Like, I'm just like, what a year for me. Because both of these succeeded into being like, here's the end of a journey in a dark corner. In Sasquatch, beating you over the head with a brick. But the brick is a flamethrower, and it shoots ice. You're now Sub-Zero. That's how I felt after watching both these back to back.
Yeah, I didn't follow a
Okay.
bit of that, which is, I think,
Exactly.
the entire point. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. I
Man,
was.
you were just
yeah.
you were eating good because, like, also this was around the time that
Fruits Baskets
was
ended.
ended. Like,
Yeah.
everything was just coming to a close. Like,
This
you were
was my
getting
year,
Answers
and
you
I-
waited for.
Yeah, this was my year, man. Like 2021 was wild, man. And also shout out to El Tigre because someone gave me like the DVD of El Tigre as well this year. And I rewatched that. And I was like, this is a lot deeper than it was. So, but anywho, the end of a journey with Fate, Heavensfield, Stay Night, Fate, Stay Night, Heavensfield.
Stay Night in general.
Yeah, Spring Song, which was like, we met the Sakuras, man. Like, Shiro kept his promise finally to somebody, because in every other movie he was a fucking liar. So he finally got to keep his promise. So people don't die when they're killed, because Saber lives forever. And then what was
She
the
got to
lie?
go to heaven.
Saber
was
got
the lie?
waxed.
Oh, but she didn't die then. She died later.
Oh, you're talking about like every route.
Well,
Yeah, every
Saber
route.
died a long time ago.
Yeah, every route he lied except for the.
I mean,
Kept
no,
his
back
promise.
in 2000.
What was the lie in UBW?
He was the bone of his sword.
Definitely not, because fucking Archer.
You're just pulling shit out of your ass, which I
Yeah.
guess I appreciate the effort.
Hey, he did tell a lie in there. I just forgot what it was.
I'm drawing a blank on that one.
Listen,
Because
man,
that entire route was about him finding his conviction, and even though he knows what he's doing could end up destroying him, he finds it's worth doing anyway, so he just walks straight into hell.
Listen, man. Be happy I'm here. So,
I'm a little mad in this film.
That's just where we are.
So this is my one kind of gripe with Heaven's Feel
very
in
ready for
general. And this has to do with Ufotable's pacing, right?
Okay.
And where we throughout this film series, we assume the viewer knows how the fuck we got here, right? It assumes that Shiro Emiya can just make swords and is also Archer, right? We spend all this time in UBW like training that up. He becomes his own dude. He's bringing out the swords. He's generating swords, going toe to toe with Gilgamesh. And here we're just saying, we're not going to tell you he has this power. You better fucking remember he has this power because we're going to use it multiple times in great effect for plot relevance, right?
In my opinion, I feel like people would have been mad if they retreaded on that because, give me 5 seconds of showing he can make a sword that looks like Archer's, and then okay, cool. Now we're gonna show him making a bunch of other shit, which is what he does, you know.
Yeah, the big challenge with doing that as an adaptation for Heaven's Feel here is that in the visual novel, he doesn't really do any of that until he has Archer's arm. And like when you see him use the arm for the first time here in this movie, he gets flooded with power, knowledge, memories, and all that shit.
Blades.
So, Blades. We get to that. So all he has to do is just figure out, okay, what's the best thing to use for this situation, and just unleash that power and all the consequences that comes with it.
But sure, but show me that he this is a thing he can this is exactly how this works, because he does some really cool stuff with this I can make whatever the fuck sword I've seen before thing, right? Yeah. So he puts it into much effect when he goes toe to toe with goopy fucking Hercules,
Yeah. Straight up uses his own noble phantasm against him.
Yeah.
Fucking
that level of disrespect.
The fucking Hercules' 9 lives is just that string of crazy attacks that he supposedly used to kill the Hydra in this variant. Berserker Hercules don't have that. All he has is God Hand, which is just the 12 lives. So he's straight up using different servant same guy powers against this dude to kill him.
Man's reaching deep into the Fate verse.
Into the verse.
And that's what I like about Emiya. Emiya is his own. People don't know that Emiya. Well, people who first in the Natsu version. God, people who aren't deep into the lore of Fate don't know that Shiro is also a strong character. It's not just Archer. Shiro himself is a badass. If you watch the Magical Girl Iliad's Field, you see one of Shiro's most badass moments.
You see his hair start turning white. He's becoming that badass.
Yeah, and he gets the headband, and he's just it's a whole vibe.
Oh, the headband.
You start seeing the transition between Shiro and Archer.
Yeah, so yes, strength. The headband. The headband.
Yeah, yeah.
What headband?
What are you trying to say, Craig?
I don't know. I'm just looking at this picture of Anga Mainu. That's all.
Who? You mean Anjamama?
Anjamama, yeah. He's got a headband.
I wouldn't be upset at that if he didn't say it, if he hadn't said the name mostly right in the first place.
Yeah. I was kind of mad at that, but I had to commit.
Okay, so one of the major plot points.
You mean Angry Mankey?
Okay.
No, that's called a primate.
Deep into, other cultures' lore, right? We're going back to Zoroastrianism, And we're pulling out what is supposed to be the epitome of all evil that humans just willed into existence.
Yeah, hold on.
Angra Manu.
Yeah, the name. I don't think there's a correct way to actually pronounce that name nowadays, but yeah. Angra Manu, Angry Manu.
Henri Mayu. Let's go with that.
Hello.
We're flickering in and out of existence.
Oh my god. It's fate. We're being summoned.
All right, so Angra Manu is the big bad evil we're trying to stop from coming into the universe. If you think about Evangelion, it's the angels trying to kill everyone, you know.
It's essentially the fourth
Eve.
impact.
Yeah, we're trying to blow
It's
everybody
the
up.
correct solution. Problem.
Get rid of humans? We'll see about that.
Rocks fall, everybody dies. Yeah.
Or just like, I definitely want to talk about like the ending when we get to it. But like just asterisk how the ultimate magic was genocide. Talk about that.
Let's do that just
yeah,
right
we'll talk
now.
about that. Okay.
Fuck it. We have no order going on.
Yeah,
at
we have
all.
no order.
Yeah.
So,
But-
So
I know there's.
Are there
Like,
anything?
What's your questions for that? What's your questions?
Is there anything you want to get out of the way that comes to mind right now before we get deep into the weeds
Nope.
with this shit?
I'm ready. Let's.
So, to me, at least up into interpretation, the three major families, the Tosakas, the Matois, and Heinsberg, really what they wanted was just genocide. Like,
Well, no.
when you come down to it.
No. They wanted to transcend human boundaries, much like the Instrumentality Project, to
which was
achieve-
genocide.
Which
They lied and said was not genocide. The people actually doing the job. It's
well, hold
Way more
on.
I mean,
I
hold on. If it was genocide, like we got the first
it's
2, 3
It's some-
Holy Grail wars to
Well,
go
they're-
through.
Well-
That like,
no.
what happened there? Did
Okay, here with this thing, it's more like they kind of follow the same kind of line as like Kiritsugu. They just want all evil eradicated. They just want a just and good world. But
She'd
they're
have to remove
mages.
humans.
They're
well,
the possibility for evil is just part of being
Hmm?
human, yes, but
well, there's
the
that.
idea is the idea is to keep living, because
Yeah.
none of them ever say they're above being human
Because
until you get to hundreds of years later and creepy bug grandpas running around.
and Angra Manu was not the main goal of 500 years ago. It was the concept of bringing the magics together to transcend human existence and shit like that. It
Yeah,
wasn't
and
to
that's what I'm
kill
saying.
everybody. Angra Manu came in after, like in the Third Grail War, or
Yeah,
I don't.
that was
No,
a-
I'm not saying.
that was just a mistake that they made. That
I'm not saying
And
Angra Mayu was,
Angra
but what
Mayu-
they
Angra Mayu is the thing that's gonna kill everybody.
yes, but I'm saying, but what they wanted though, what in this perfect world, that's kind of what Curie's whole thing was about. Like all this is to be human, to sin and do that is to be human. So what they essentially wanted was genocide, because to all that, I'm not saying that they got together and let's have genocide. I'm saying conceptually, what they wanted could not exist because humans would have to be extinct for that to exist.
Or take the humans
Okay.
to a transcendent level where
Yes.
they
Yes.
grow beyond themselves. Right?
Which
Yes.
would they would
Which is
then
the
no longer be
ideal.
human. Yes, so I'm saying
well, we don't know what
conceptually.
we don't know what they would be until they got there, which no one ever gets there.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying so
They
I'm not
could-
saying they got together and were like, yo, why don't you take the Einsburn blood,
Okay.
take that Matoi spell, mix it up, boom, death, everybody.
So what they wanted was not genocide. What they wound up with definitely was.
Yeah,
But that was, I'm
pretty
saying
much.
that's the answer to their question. How does this happen?
Well, how did Angra Manu come into this at all? That's my question, because it wasn't
because he
original
was the
set
first
500
servant
years
killed
ago.
and he filled the grail.
Well, sort of. Okay, the answer to the question being genocide is just like the whole Thanos answer. That was the easy answer that somebody just said, fuck it, I'm tired of doing work, let's just do that. Angramanyu came into the equation by mistake. They thought summoning such an old servant would make him super powerful. They didn't realize that he, as a servant, was the opposite. He was the weakest servant they could have summoned. They summoned him in the worst class for him to be on. Like, he
Lancer,
actually...
right?
Avenger.
Berserker.
Yeah,
His actual class is Avenger, but
he created the Avenger class by being a fellow Berserker.
So kind of, yes. The idea of the Avenger class is that his legend is a cautionary tale. Like the say the fallen hero who really tried to do good, but only ever hurt people in his pursuits. The road to hell is paved with good intentions kind of thing.
Real.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Clusterfuck.
Misfitted Demon King shit with the whole spirit stuff.
Kind of, yeah.
We're talking about his
But,
background, right?
But they didn't really know about that when they summoned him, so they added his mad enhancement, which turned him into a berserker. He was basically a flyweight against a heavyweight kind of situation. It took virtually nothing to take him out. But although he was easy to defeat in that war, he's hard to kill. Because he just became part of the Grail at that point.
As the source of all world's evil, which is, how people back in Persia treated him, the random sucker that was picked as the scapegoat to just, I don't know, take all the sin,
And I'm wondering if there's
it's like that random dude, just stone him every time you see him.
I wonder if there's like an opposite to him. There's like an embodiment of all good in that religion.
Well, technically, yes.
Well,
Everybody else, apparently.
And technically, isn't the opposite of the Avenger class the ruler class?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Which is why Apocrypha is kind of the fourth route. That's the big change. They summoned a ruler instead of an Avenger.
Yeah. Which...
Interesting.
Best girl. My best girl. That better.
Well, yes. But, Fate's kind of like JoJo's in that regard. You can give any answer to any one of those, who's your favorite whatever, and you're not wrong.
Unless
you
say
choose Jack the
Ripper.
Lolly.
Yeah, I was going to say, unless you say... High five, Zog, for finally being a...
I'm not high-fiving the camera, man.
High-five me. High-five me. Thank you.
Yay!
God damn.
Good job. Hey, can we dye BB purple?
Props on that.
No.
Like animal safe dye?
No.
You say yes, guys.
How would you find animal safe dye if they try not to test on animals?
That's a good question, but apparently they have it according to that one show about the dogs.
If it's safe enough to eat, it's safe enough to put on your dog.
What?
Okay, that's fair enough.
That like real life, or did you pull that out
I
of your
mean,
butt?
I'm assuming.
I'm gonna
making-
be yeah. It makes sense because like cats, dogs, whatever, they will just lick themselves and just consume whatever. So
if it's
Kinda
safe
makes
enough
sense.
to ingest, it's probably safe enough to not like poison your animal skin.
I'm
so as long as
sitting
there's
here-
no lead.
I'm just sitting here thinking about Jim in the lab. Okay, we finished the testing. Is it safe for the cats? I don't know. Jim, put this on your salad and kind of figure out what happens. Okay, so this is not animal safe dye, and someone get
and that's how we found
gonna be honest-
up with Angramanyu.
Yeah, that sounds like some Fate logic right there.
That is my favorite logic. But yes, I will say this though. Andrew, I've said it wrong so many times.
At this point, if you say it right, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Angry tuna fish is my least favorite Avenger.
Not even
servant.
trying on that one.
My favorites are. We're not going to see her,
Sasuke.
so I can. No, it's actually Gorgon Medusa is my favorite.
Gorgon's an interesting one.
my favorite Avenger win. Her, I wish.
Now wait.
I still haven't
Hold
watched
up.
that series. I've only
You haven't watched it?
Wait a
No,
minute.
I've read it and I played through the game on that, but I haven't watched that one yet. That one's on my list.
It's
You know,
like one of the best.
This is what I was
Yeah,
talking
I just found
about.
it on Crunchyroll, so I'm going to
What
it.
I was talking about yesterday. I said, look, at the very end of the movie, we get Medusa still hanging around, but also apparently there's the good part of Ungermine, who's just kind of chilling out, little shadow puppet man.
the little
What did
shadow
I say?
thing.
What did I say? I said, well, we're just gonna let the embodiment of evil just kind of hang around in a puppet form with Medusa.
I hate
This
to
Oh,
break
is
it
how
to
we
you,
get the
but this
Avenger class.
this happens.
No, this is a different
this
one.
happen-
This is an
happens
entirely
on the
different
moon.
thing.
Strange.
I
No,
mean,
it doesn't.
looking at
Cool.
this photo, I
Oh,
know
okay.
exactly why Gorgon Medusa is your favorite.
Oh yeah,
Because you're into monster girls,
That's what-
man. I'm glad you finally admitted it.
That and alt rule.
You're just saying all these
you know,
words.
yeah. And I
Space
like Shelter,
Ishtar,
but
man.
Yeah.
No, give
I-
me Space Ishtar.
Bruh, yes.
I'm gonna be.
Yes,
Have you-
space
have you,
is
have you ever
a
seen
problem. A problem. Yeah, she's in the
I'm
same
I
gonna-
series.
fucking
I'm
love
link it in
Ishtar.
chat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Like,
love
her,
Ishtar.
Her story is wild. Like why she
Mhm.
looks like Ren is wild. I cannot wait to get to all the Fate universe. Oh, like it's gonna be. It's gonna.
Oh, this is gonna be a trip.
Next, we're gonna have to do Fate Strange because that's the new one coming out. And we can all
Yeah.
experience that together. Fate
That-
Strange Fate.
Right?
I definitely would like to do that, but
They don't need to have any pre-existing knowledge. They've seen this. That's all they need.
well, no. The only pre-existing knowledge you might need for that one is zero. So, and we've already seen that. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they have all
We're
the.
good.
You can now go into any Fate universe as confused as us.
We made it, man.
Well.
We finally made it.
Well, I mean, I have an extensive background of like playing the game and reading visual novels.
playing game, reading novels,
All right,
breaking
I
my
guess
former
I'll,
computer.
I'll dust
being a
off,
fucking nerd.
I'll dust off the Fate Moon
We're-
game or whatever, and we'll see if I.
We're at a
understand.
point. Well,
Not
you
even
might.
close. That will not help you.
That won't.
Good luck. Good luck, Hay.
Yeah.
We're at a point where I can just start sending y'all videos of just like this'll explain it, and just let y'all
Annie
go.
News, bruh. Go follow Annie News. Has the best Fate video.
I don't know. I like Otaku Daikun.
He has good videos
He-
too.
I like his videos. It's very informative, very personal.
Yeah,
feels
Annie
like
News will be like, here's the history
Yeah.
of the sword that Jin uses.
Those are very like here's the fact driven, like it says news kind of feel.
Yeah, I like those.
Reporter. That's the word.
I listen to a mixture
Mhm.
of like Fate tubers.
Oh, there's
Oh.
no way. There is absolutely no way you can just listen to one and actually get a full understanding of any of this.
I like the Boruto. Like they all say the same thing. I'm telling y'all, in 28 chapters, it's gonna be the best chapter. So I had the 2 mixed up with the 8. So in 82 chapters, this is gonna be the best Boruto episode. Okay, so I was doing Roman numerals, right? So if I take it and use the exponent here, in 469 chapters.
You know, I actually saw something about that being like if the anime community treated Boruto the same way it does any other shonen anime, discount the filler, throw it out, and just only watch the canon shit.
There'd be like
Boruto would
3
actually be great.
episodes.
But yeah, there'd only be like 4 episodes.
Well, here's the thing. It's like even
But those would
you-
be great episodes.
and I mean, like again, I feel like we always manage to show Boruto, and that's because.
Yeah, 'cause
Oh,
you
I'm about to
opened
say
the door.
you're always the one who brings it up.
And I'm proud of that, you know. But like, I just don't understand, man. Like, Boruto, everybody hates on Boruto, but like literally, if like think about it, if Boruto is treated as it should be, it still will not be on the air. Because look how many things people cancel. You know, Black Clover. Oh, Asuka's annoying. Boruto's also annoying, but nah, y'all just hate on Boruto because it's different. No, we hate on Boruto because it's bad. Nah, but the same people screw Black Clover, screw my and Boruto fanboys
Fate
love hating on My Hero
Stay
and One Piece.
Night.
Like I don't understand. Yes, I'm getting back to Fate
Heaven's
Stay Night.
Feel.
Heavens
What
feels
you don't
Sakura.
understand is Boruto happens because of the worst timeline in Fate. Like, this is how we get here.
We're still in
Okay.
the Infinite Tsukiyomi.
So,
Oh
so
my
here, so since we're here
moon
talking about
server.
Fate, I pray that's the ending to Boruto. Like, they just cut Naruto out and be like, Naruto, we did it. We defeated Kaguya. So what? Now that we have finished the Fate Stay Night route, what is you all's favorite station? Like, do you feel that Fate is better digested as 3 movies, or like, how would you prefer
Oh,
digest?
I definitely prefer the 3 movies. I mean, I know they're like each 2-ish hours, but I just felt like that was so much more. But then, okay, I don't know. It's like very weird because like
Yeah.
I like the episodic stuff only because it feels like we get more time with the characters and that's actually like worth it, and it kind of explains things better, and it doesn't have to be all condensed and fast paced. But I felt like with Heaven's Feel it works because we've already been through this timeline like twice. So like, you know, we already know everything.
They can
Let's just-
streamline it.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that's true. Okay. The way I say this is going to sound weird and complicated, but I mean it to be simple. So it's fitting for Fate. If I'm looking to sit down and just enjoy a quick and simple watch on something, I'll watch the movies. I know that's 3 movies, that's like 6 hours, but this is fucking Fate. That's an easy watch for Fate. If I did not know all the shit I know about Fate, I would probably only enjoy the visuals in this movie. I would probably put it on mute, and just watch the fucking visuals.
No, that one
Because
scene.
the pacing for what it is, for what this Heaven's Feel story is trying to tell, is really good. And if you know all the stuff going into it, you can just look at the quick little visuals and understand what they're saying. Like when the magic circuits connect to each other, and you see the little effect around Shiro's arm when he's using Archer's power for the first time. Okay, they're connected. He's finally able to use that power. That's why he's about to do the crazy bullshit he's about to do. I already know they're the same person. I already know that because of that, their circuits can connect and just fire off at the same time. They're all the same. That makes sense to me. If you see that without knowing any of the prior knowledge, what the fuck is that telling you? That this shit just happened.
But you know, now that you say that, now I'm wondering. I was like, well, what happens to Archer's spirit when he does? It's like, oh, if you do that, you'll never do something. Does he get taken out of rotation? But that's not correct.
No.
Because he still
Well,
shows
no,
up.
because it's a time warp. Because Emiya then just grows into Archer again.
Yeah, kind of. Archer is a very unique circumstance, but all servants, no matter what, when they die in the Holy Grail War, they just return to that place where they became a servant.
Yeah, but if
That's
he
why.
did a taboo,
That's why when Saber disappears in Zero, the next time you see her is in that whole like crazy world where she's covered in blood on a hill of corpses. That's the moment she died. That's the moment she became a servant. So that's the place she returns to in between Holy Grail Wars.
no, but I'm
So
like,
since
because the way the movie kind of put it was Archer giving Emiya his arm was a big taboo no. That's
it
how they,
should not have worked. The only reason it worked is because they're the same person.
Archer knew that.
Yes. He didn't know it would work, but he knew that this was the best chance for it to work.
I don't know, they just made it seem like, oh, if you do that, you'll probably never come back again ever or something. I don't know. I was just like,
Well,
what's the punishment?
If you take this arm, you're going to Emiya is going to wind up overloaded with magical power and blow the fuck up. And maybe because he's breaking the quote-unquote rules, maybe something bad will happen. But there is no rules. It's all a facade.
Yeah. There's always like exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
And
Every Grail War follows a very strict set of rules until they don't.
Until the exceptions occur,
Until
which
they don't.
they do in every timeline and route.
Pretty much, yes. But if you go back and watch that scene, Ryder is literally just saying, you know you could live through this, right? If you cut off your arm, you are going to die. But as you are right now, you could possibly get through this. And he's just like, no, I won't. I'm done. There's no way I'm getting through this. And at least this way, only one person has to go.
But that was also, I just remember in the second movie now when he's like, I'm just as corrupted. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with his connection to Sakura and Angermainu and all.
Okay. This actually leads me... I have a theory about the whole Archer situation that is never going to be confirmed one way or the other, but I just like how it turns out with this. So this is just what this is just what I go with. The previous Shiro from the route becomes the next Archer. Like, so the Fate route Shiro becomes UBW's Archer, and UBW Shiro becomes Fate Stay Night's Heaven's Feels Archer. Whether that just keeps going with crazy ass stories or it cycles back and Heaven's Feels Shiro becomes Stay Night's Archer, we can debate that later. But the whole idea I have with that is Shiro in Fate route falls in love with Arturia or Saber, and that's basically all. And their chivalry, their belief in justice is so similar that when he has to then act like Kiritsugu, doing all the whole kill one person to save 1,000, being that servant, quote unquote, until he's summoned in the Holy Grail War, it breaks him mentally, and all he wants is to just kill himself, which is why he's so adamant in UBW about killing Shiro. It would erase all of that in his mind, and just erase his existence. Since UBW Shiro goes through that experience and gains that conviction to keep going no matter what, and believing in that ideal of justice, when Heaven's Field comes around and he sees there's a bigger problem, he's just like, all right, well, my personal bullshit doesn't matter anymore. We focus on this. And that's also why when it comes down to, I can either let Shiro die and get what I want, or I can give him a fighting chance and let him go about his business. He's willing to do the sacrifice play and give him a chance to live. And that's... And I would... Seeing as no matter what the route is, Shiro has a good working relationship with Rin at the at the lowest or least, or however that saying's supposed to go. When he comes back into the Fate route, he is willing to work with Rin, hands down, even if it's just all business like he is in the Fate route. He's willing to give it his all for her and have complete trust in her.
And why he's corrupted, I'm willing to bet it's because he's a weird anomaly and still technically human and not actually a hero. But he's a hero that didn't die and it's just been imprinted and all this other bullshit.
I remember that.
Again, that is a lot of complicated lore, but essentially, yes. The short version is he's a servant who was never meant to be a servant. The only person who could ever summon him as a servant is Rin, because they shared that pendant catalyst.
Till we get to the
He
moon.
loves her.
No, I will not stop talking
Let's-
about the moon.
let's
That's
talk
all
I like to
about-
think that too.
Let's talk about this. The idea about each route focuses on a different love interest, right?
Mhm.
Stay Night, of course, focuses on Emiya and Saber. UBW, which is technically Shiro's route, focuses on Rin Tosaka's relationship with Shiro Emiya. And of
I think
course,
is the best one.
Heaven's Field focuses on Sakura. What is your
Yes.
opinion about all of these?
I feel that the Stay Night is the weakest of the 3 routes because Saber is the weakest of the 3 love interest. I feel like intrinsically
Okay.
that stronger the love interest, the better the series. And I'm not gonna lie, it's like totally subjective in my personal opinion, unless it's Saber. If you choosing Saber over Rin and Sakura, we need to have a conversation.
No, but it's
Oh.
Emiya's fault because he was a punk ass master who couldn't get his magic together.
He's been that every route, if we're being honest.
Yes,
Like,
Yeah,
yes.
that is his starting point, and it's not until he has Archer giving him a boost.
and he has options. He just never grew out of that in the Stay Night route, in my opinion. Like, he was like, yeah. And then, I don't know, man. It's like, in my personal opinion, I like Heaven's Field route most because there are a lot of things that I like, and I feel like Sakura has a love interest more as such a wounded character, and like, how do you love someone that demented? And even with Rin, it's like, how do you love someone who like cut off to that in the world? Because Rin's character is one of my favorites in all of Fate. But ironically, I hate the Tosaka family line with the passion because we do see other Tosakas in the Fate verse. But I love Rin and Sakura the most, next to Iliad's Field, who is best girl in the series.
Sometimes
Not
you can't
waifu
escape
of
a
the
tragic
series,
fate.
but best girl.
I
So-
think Rin is probably the best Shiro ever gets because I don't know. Like,
the
okay,
best he ever gets, and as far as I'm
With-
concerned, the correct option.
with Sakura, right? I mean, it was really interesting, but it's kind of like
It's an amazing story.
it is.
I'm
It-
not gonna lie. As far as the 3 stories go, Heaven's Feel has the best story.
and
No, that's
she-
what I'm saying.
And
Let me
Sakura needed to
rephrase.
win. Oh, she needed
Let me-
to. Okay, sorry.
She earned
I'm-
it.
Let me rephrase what I was saying because I wasn't finished saying what I was saying.
Sorry.
That Sakura is okay. Sakura is my best option. I do not think she's the best option for Shiro. I think Rin is by far the best option of Shiro. I think the best story is Heaven's Field. I think the best love story, if we're getting into that, or the best shipping is Rin. But I prefer the story of Heaven's Field more than the other 3.
Okay. Well,
and
yes.
I just
and
think
that-
Stay Night's weak in most departments. Not
that-
weak, but not the strongest.
in that sense,
It's
I
the
could-
opening act.
because this is basically the final curtain. I can definitely see, and
Yeah.
there's a lot more answers, and characters are actually straight up told certain answers that we had to infer from watching Zero. And
Asuka
Yes.
is a clone.
yeah, so
Bro, too soon.
God damn.
Dana's
well-
Dana's still sad about that. By the way, she's like, I hated that.
So,
Well, if you think about it like sorry. If you think about it like there are not 3 different stories, but 3 different acts to the overall story of Stay Night. Fate Route is the opening act. The second act or the middle portion is UBW, and Heaven's Feel is the climax and falling action to everything, the third act. So, and if you just follow Shiro's development, it kind of tracks through all three of them, from him just being like, this is your typical, I am trying to be a hero of justice saint. I have no real nuance, and I'm just trying to do my best, typical shonen thing. In UBW, he actually learns, hey, that shit's hard. You gotta make yourself way more than you ever thought you could ever be, and even attempt to get that shit right. And Heaven's Feel being the third act, the realistic views of that hit him so hard. He's actually willing, and the ideals are challenged so much that he's actually willing to be like, you know what? I don't care about everybody else right now. I care about this one person more than anything. And if I can just be a hero of justice for her, good enough for me. He's actually willing to compromise on that part. So, in that aspect, the Fate route being the opening act kind of gives it, in my mind, gives a little leeway to, as you put it, be the weakest. Because there is so much more to come, and each one of those not only needs its own moment to shine, but give its own exposition and give its own reasons for existing.
Yeah. And I might just be a degen, but Studio Dean Sakura for Dark Sakura, gets my vote over ribbon dress Sakura. But hey,
I don't know, man. Ribbon dress Sakura is. I don't know, man. Ribbon dress Sakura.
I mean,
God damn.
again,
Yo, send me that wallpaper.
You played your hand already, so yeah.
I'm just saying, it's
again,
been that since before we did. And I will give you like
fair enough.
BSM or BDSM Sakura is also much.
That was still so.
I would have given it Leatherclad, but I don't know about BDSM.
Yeah, way
Dominatrix Sakura. Yeah.
Maybe.
Donnie. Oh no.
Oh
yes.
What?
Stop while we're behind. But yeah, I don't know. It was early on in Heaven's Feel, right? It was like finally we get to focus on so much Sakura shit. Like we finally get the payoff we've been building for. But my hang up is like she doesn't have any agency at all, even when they're like, surprise, it was you the whole time. Like,
yeah.
She doesn't consciously make decisions, and that's kind of bullshit.
And which one?
At all, really.
At all. But throughout Heaven's Field, she never makes a conscious decision of her own. Even when they tell us
that's
she's
not
the one
necessarily
choosing.
true.
That raises the important question. Even when you're not in full faculties, when you're not like completely conscious of like what you're doing or whatnot, at what level of control over your actions do you actually like have any like say in the matter?
And for this,
because she is, the shadow is acting on
her desires,
Sakura's desires and feelings and everything.
Yeah.
And which I think is the point of that scene. That's why it's saying like, this isn't a personality. You want all this.
And
that was kind of
the argument here is just because it's not your fault doesn't mean it's not your responsibility to go murder crazy and like bring back the epitome of all evil, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and she made conscientious. She chose to kill Matoi.
But like,
to be fair, that was the best for everybody.
Yeah. But I mean, just because
that was like killing Hitler, everybody be okay with it.
She was gonna do that anyways because he was gonna get in the way of her goals. right?
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
she,
Scot
did she
free.
put in
did
a
she just not
plan?
go back home? Like, how? Anyways,
No, she went to her real home. She went to Shiro's.
And nobody knows
Well,
about
she
this,
stole his
so
house.
she can't be. No, he gave it to her. Well,
He gave it to her.
he gave her the
Yeah,
key.
I mean, like, yeah.
But also, nobody knows
She
about
married
this
into it.
magic shit, so like, it can't just go convict her on mass murder because magic's not real yet.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, I wanted to ask you all: do you guys forgive soccer? Like, why do you think? Like, I mean, granted, maybe not forgive, but like, I don't know. Soccer is still a mass murderer. Like, you can have your happy
Right.
ending, but you can never erase the fact that you killed at least 200
I
and ate them.
yeah.
and Nathan.
It's like, okay,
I,
you know, she had a terrible childhood and everything, right? Like, you know, okay,
So did a lot of people.
yeah, okay, so did a lot of people, but like, does that
So did Hercules.
equate?
Does
to,
that justify her actions?
Yeah, does
No.
that justify
No,
her?
not in the
at all.
slightest.
No,
Not in the slightest.
like
but
just because she didn't get
it-
into art school did not mean she killed all those people.
God damn it. I used the Hitler thing as a metaphor. It fits, but god damn it.
It doesn't.
Um,
It doesn't. Not on this one.
Nah. The gray is the gray area with all of it is that early on she's not conscious of any of this stuff. It is clearly an influence outside of her control, which is kind of like saying, okay, what if a drug addled brain has done something else illegal? They don't know that they did that shit. So are they should they be convicted for those actions? It's a bit of a gray area because it's hard to say because there was no intent or control in that situation.
But we
But
kind of
at the same time they still did it.
and we kind of got that confirmation. She was the one in control when Curie said there's only one Sakura.
Well,
is
When-
the one that's
yes.
making
She's-
those
when-
decisions.
she's been influenced.
And when it's white-haired Sakura, pure her. That's all her decision, all her actions.
And she's been influenced by.
I mean, we've all been
bugs.
influenced.
Have you
though,
been
like-
influenced by bugs from early childhood?
I mean, I'll be honest
And
with
the
you, not
epitome of body
bugs.
evil?
I mean, not bugs, but when you grow up, like, when you see certain stuff and you see,
But were
like,
you
the environment
forced
around
to
you.
fight in a mage war against your own choosing by Bug Grandpa?
I mean,
Who
no,
was
because
talking
there's
inside your head
always.
the whole time.
But I'm saying, like, if you look at it that
Sorry, it was
way,
inside her chest.
like, I love the dialogue between her and Rin in that final fight
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
that's like,
I don't care.
that's my, yeah,
It-
like, and I feel like there were realism in both of those. Like, you know, what Sakura said was valid, what Rin said was valid. Like, Rin had to see her mother go absolute crazy
Yeah.
and basically kill herself, you know, after being raised. Like, I feel like she knew that Curie
Raised by
killed
the
her dad,
absolute
too.
worst.
Yeah.
raised by-
And,
yeah.
like, you know, and
Yeah, she ain't
nobody
stupid.
nobody in Fate is okay because I'm pretty sure even Taiga's family is dead, like, if I remember correctly.
If I remember correctly, her family is the mafia.
Yeah.
Yes, but were killed, like, I'm pretty sure her family was killed, like, her dad was
Like her
killed by, like, a
parents,
rival. Yeah.
But yeah.
So, like, and, you know, of course, and, you know, Archery Girl ain't never gonna be the same again. That's why she gave up the club, because, you know, like, Shinji's dead. Yeah. But, like,
Bruh.
so,
That's how you know it's the best
It's like
timeline.
at the end when they're all clapping, it's just like, you know, years later. Are we forgetting anybody? No.
No one
Nah.
important.
No, nobody important. It was Shinji.
No.
They're remembering Shinji.
I'm just, and it's just,
I find that fucking hilarious because before the whole war and everything, when he just decided, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna be the worst asshole ever. Everybody liked him. Apparently, he was a real cool guy.
yeah, and my main thing is that, like, I don't like how, I mean, we heard that Sakura repented in Renzo, the, like, 2-minute speech, but I hate how, like, you don't see her repentance. It's just,
Well,
like,
I mean, she's.
it took years for her to, like, be able to talk about it and forgive herself, and it's like,
Well, it's not about forgiving herself. She has to continue to live to, like, take responsibility for those she killed. Like, she can't take the easy way out. is kind of the story.
I
of
mean,
it.
she takes the easy way out, in my opinion, by negligence. Anything like she just kind
Yeah,
of
I was kind of
that's
with
the
you on
thing,
that.
we-
It's like,
Who?
you know, go work at the
That-
homeless
that-
shelter or something. It's,
like
See,
Rin
now-
was the
Who are we
one
talking about
that
again?
got
Okay.
Sakura.
I mean,
That-
listen. I mean, you're expecting her to take responsibility for actions that was like set up. She was sold to another mage family
Yeah.
by the fucked up Tosakas, and she was just doing what she was told, which she does have responsibility to take. Like, she has to take responsibility for her actions, even though they were influenced and supported and trained and taught like everything else. Like, yeah, it's not good, right? That's not positive. It's not righteous. But she has to continue to live to take responsibility for the fucked up shit that she caused.
And there are two problems I see with it. One being part of the storytelling, one being production. The storytelling part of it is more of like, this is all a freaking like hidden world. So as far as like outside of the like inner circle of people who went through the fucking war and survived, who already forgive her,
Which is
who
Rin.
who the fuck is actually gonna like go up to her and just be like, hey,
Yeah.
you did this,
See,
fuck you,
problem
do
solved.
If we're
something
being
to help
honest,
me.
the only
The
person alive
Uh,
is Rin.
Yeah,
like,
Rin's the only one alive, so she's the one,
Yeah,
only
every-
one she has to
yeah.
answer to.
Well,
Like, boom,
Ryder.
There you go.
I mean, Ryder was still like, even though you a mass murderer, you still my homie.
I
so
mean, Ryder
Exactly.
also like, has a
All-
tragic backstory
Yeah.
and also did a bunch of fucked up shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
and
technically
also has
Shiro's
Cass
alive.
for years. Like I was so jealous of Alt Saber when she got kicked in the face.
All right, final thoughts.
Okay. Well, one sec. The production side of it is, this is a movie and they had like 10 minutes left to wrap everything up.
Yeah, we blew through 10
There was-
years in about 15
and they
seconds.
still had to explain, not only give us the happy visual ending of like, oh, they go saw the cherry blossoms and whatnot, but also give us the whole, oh, this is why Shiro's still around. He's a
Yeah.
doll now.
I wonder if she still had relations.
I mean,
Well, the doll could be anatomically correct.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know there's like a lot of dojin
Oh no.
about dojin just doesn't always mean
Final
dojin just doesn't
thoughts.
always mean hentai
But
strange.
that's exactly
It
what
mostly
you're
means
talking
like
about.
fan manga, but
No, I mean like
in
fan
this case-
fiction. Like
in this case, yes, it does.
no, in this case, it means fan manga of them like having continued in Tosaka. Anyway,
So
So-
exactly what you were saying definitely wasn't, right? Anyways.
yeah, it was.
Final
They were
But-
just
thoughts.
restoring mana.
Heavens.
Anyway.
Anyway, so this also is Heaven's Field goes in my top 10. I count it all as one because I'm not gonna do the whole part 1, part 2 crap. It's in the top
You
10
kinda
of my
can't.
echelons of anime. The fight scene at the end, Ryder and Saber, eclectic. I loved it, so good, and just seeing Pegasus and the Noble Phantasm and like just the like all of that and Shiro's like 12 labor attacks or 9 labors attacks,
9 lives.
9 lives, one for each
9
of the
lives
labors.
blade works.
Yeah, 9
No.
lives blade works and his trigger like attack and just seeing the whole like Rin fight scene with the gems and everything and Shadow Sakura going off and Kiritsugu just being that absolute unit of a slugfest.
And then the fist,
like,
the fist fight at the end.
Kiritsugu.
Kiritsugu, I don't know, Will have been saying this whole
No.
time.
You said Kiritsugu just then.
Yeah.
What the fuck? He's been dead the whole time. This
You
whole,
know who I meant? I meant the Pope. I mean, dude,
Kirei.
Kirei. Yeah, okay. I was saying Kirei.
Kirei Kotomine.
I like that
okay.
part
Yeah,
in Fate
priest.
when the Pope
Yeah.
comes back as a servant and then he just punches people.
What?
I don't know. I thought it'd be.
I feel like he was trying to make a joke there, but
Make
I
a
only
joke.
Oh,
heard half of it.
okay. Yeah, I was like, you mean Apocrypha? But like, because that does kind of happen.
We'll get to Apocrypha later.
okay.
But yeah, no,
And
Heaven's Field.
that will be on the list. That's one of my
Heaven's
favorites.
Field is my favorite Fate, and I appreciate you all taking time to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sakura best Like, oh, and Elysifield best girl. That's my final argument. My final thing.
Yeah, no, I
Elysifield
agree.
best girl.
Mhm.
When her sacrifice like had me like literally. That's just like the 4th time I've seen movies, and I was still in tears because when she's like, oh my god, when she's like, I have to do a big
sister has
brother,
to protect her brother.
and Cheryl's like, damn it, what is her name? And he starts saying it. I'm like, oh my god, I am. Do you want to live? Listen, man, I am. Yes, Elysifield, best girl in Fate. Writer / Shadow Soccer, best waifu. I hold my peace.
Okay.
I'd say final thoughts, like definitely Ryder versus Alt Saber, probably one of the coolest fight scenes like I've ever seen, like ever. It was really nice, really cool. And
So was that rock.
And it actually makes me a little excited to see the rest of the Fate verse. Maybe not like super deep dive into it, but
I'm gonna tell you right now, that's the best fight scene in Fate verse. I'm sorry to break it to you.
no. I'm not saying like
Best animated, but
I mean, just to see the rest of the stories and the servants and everything. Like, but I do wonder if I'd be more. Like, I'm into it, but I wonder if I would have been more into it if I had watched these earlier, or like as they came out. You know,
The hype
I
was
don't know.
real in the theaters. I will
Yeah.
say that.
yeah,
I was gassed. I drove all the way to Destin and driving back. I was like, ah. I tried to do the Fate Rider thing, like jumped and like stared at people. So
Yeah,
didn't work out too well.
no,
I
super
tried.
cool though.
it's fucking great. I want to hear from you who have just seen it before I say anything. So what you got, Kelz?
I'm glad we're finally done. I have, I've been along for the freight ride for a while. But I'm glad that we finally have reached a common conclusion with Fate Stay Night. It was gorgeous. Again, I got hangups with the pacing, but overall, the plot and the action, different, fun, beautiful. It was a good time. Watching the film format compared to the television format, I like the time investment aspect, but again, with TV, you get more time for more details. So yeah, I agree that if I want to sit down and watch a story, watch the movie. But if I want to like engage with the deeper Fate verse, the Natsu verse, yeah, I need to sit down and watch every TV episode 4 times, and hate my life as I try to parse the cork board with the
And then
with the
go read the side story, and then go read the extra letter that he wrote to the Pentagon. And when you find that out, you find out about everything. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
I'm secretly looking forward to going to start Alias Field's Magical Girl escapades.
Magical
Hell
Girl,
yeah.
Escapades, Moon Servers, Apocryphas.
you know what's strange? I'm gonna make sure we get the at least the anime for the moon for the moon one on the schedule sometime this year.
I didn't know
specifically
that there
for
was
you.
I
Specifically for
said
you.
there was. I'm just saying every time there's a moon one.
And I'll tell you right now, there was so much shit in that game. There was no way the anime was not going to be confusing, even for people who knew exactly what was going on.
It's
Yeah.
also the most ass Fate route. That's the one
Exactly.
you're choosing. You're choosing
That's
the
the-
worst one.
I played the game. The game was fun. I didn't know what was happening. but
The
it was
game is fun.
Exactly.
The anime is trash.
But you keep bringing it up, so I'm gonna make sure it's
because
there
it's so
and you watch it.
ridiculous and funny.
You
gotta
It's
watch
just
it.
Some motherboard.
I can already tell
Anyway.
you right now that like Kel's favor is gonna be the El Milordo files favorite.
Oh, the
Bruh,
Lord
I
El
was-
Malloy files. Those are.
Yeah.
I was
hell yes.
looking at the tangent between the one character that made the dolls that Shiro technically is, and it's an insinuation that she's the girl from the El Malloy files and other Nasu
She is
stuff.
actually. That's the
Yeah, she
redhead
is.
character.
Yeah, with
I
the
walk by.
glasses. Yeah.
Is El Malloy? That's not the same thing as.
He's from Fate
Lord
Zero.
El Malloy II is Waver
Yeah.
from Fate Zero.
Wait,
Yeah.
Okay, so where does
He is the one who summoned Iskandar.
where does oh yeah, but where does the whole and I forget the actual name of this, but it's like garden something with the
You're
they
thinking of
have-
Sammy Ramis of Hanging Gardens.
No,
Possibly. He
no.
might also be thinking of something from Fate Go.
The Fate where the one girl has a magical eyeball or something, and she's got like a messed
That
up
is-
arm. I thought
That
was
does not narrow it down at all.
He's thinking of Sammy Ramis because of her eyes,
Oh.
and she has a giant spike through her hand, correct?
You'd
be.
have to show him.
It's not a it's a series, and I can't remember what it was.
You
more
know
of like
what?
a detective.
You know what?
series. I can't remember what it's called.
Detective series sounds like Lord Elmaloy, but
Yeah.
you know what? Show me pictures, and then I'll let you know.
I mean, to be honest with you, it sounds like you're thinking of the Magic's bride. Magic.
Nope, not
Ancient Magus Bride.
Ancient Magic's bride. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
sounds like
it
you're
was,
thinking about.
It was,
Which-
y'all watched
which-
it on Discord.
As a side note,
like,
season 2 is supposed to be coming out soon. Hell yes, I'm excited
yes,
for that.
this spring.
Oh, so excited. Anyway, final
Final thoughts.
let's get my final thoughts on Fate so we can wrap this one up. I've loved the Fate franchise since I saw Fate Zero. And like fuck, how long it was around like 10 years ago, maybe longer, when I first saw it. And I've been all about it since. There are parts where I'm just like, okay, even I am faded out. I need to take a break from this. So there are some parts that I'm missing. But that, with how expansive this shit is, that's kind of to be expected. So
tell me about that.
I highly recommend it. If the whole Stay Night side of things, I don't think UBW has done any kind of wrong with these. I recommend people watch the Dean one, Studio Dean's from 2006, but UBW does a good enough job explaining some things that I don't think you would get lost watching it. And if you move on to Heaven's Feel after that, I think you're fine. But this is a full-on fucking franchise. I do not recommend anybody get into this thing, into Fate, unless you are willing to dedicate a lot of time to it. Specifically because of how high concept and confusing it can be, and B, how expansive it can be. And that's just talking Fate. That has I'm not even touching on Tsukahime or anything like that.
Melty
So-
blood.
Yeah. So,
Gosh,
not for the faint of heart,
when
but highly recommended. God, I love this shit. It can be very challenging, and that is something I very much look forward to in any kind of media I consume, is being challenged.
I look forward to seeing
Hell
how Neko Arcadia fits into all this. Oh boy. I'm just gonna keep
Alata-
bringing up random Fate stuff. 'cause
All right, it's a wrap. It's a
Alata
wrap.
is-
We're
yeah.
done.
Yeah.
We're done. Thank God we finally finished Fate Stay Night Heaven's Field number 3. It's a wrap on Fate till we get back to it here on Content Breaker. You can catch us on all your podcasts, talking Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Podcast, YouTube, as well at Content Breaker. Gentlemen, you have things too.
Yeah. Whether Dreads. I'll be there.
Wow. So enthusiastic.
Static Dreads, what is he? Because he's cool on Twitter. Because he's still
Twitter.
whatever. It's a wrap. Strangely entertaining on YouTube and Instagram and Twitch and all
Yeah.
that shit.
He may stream every now and again.
Yeah, he gets around to it. Next week, we had something planned. We need to talk about it. We'll tell you later.
Fucking St. Patty's Day, so expect something Irish.
Yeah.